In 2019, the President of the United States floated a proposal to purchase the entire territory of Greenland. In 2025, he brought the idea back to the table. Late-night comedians and political commentators treated the proposition as a bizarre punchline, but inside the Pentagon and in intelligence agencies across Europe and Asia, nobody was laughing. Greenland is the largest island on Earth. It spans an area roughly 3 times the size of Texas, and 80% of its surface is buried under an impenetrable sheet of ice. Beneath that frozen, desolate exterior lies a geopolitical asset so critical that the world's most powerful governments are actively maneuvering to control it. Throughout the 20th century, the United States valued Greenland primarily as a massive, static shield, protecting the North American continent from Soviet bomber and missile threats. The U.S. military established the Patuxent Space Base, formerly Thule, on the island's northwest edge. So here, early warning radars scan for ballistic missiles and monitor the GIUK Gap, a vital naval choke point in the North Atlantic. For decades, the harsh Arctic climate kept this strategic arrangement frozen in place. Now, rising global temperatures are rapidly dismantling that status quo. The Arctic is warming faster than the rest of the planet. Since 1995, an area of the Greenland ice sheet the size of Albania has completely melted away. This accelerated melting is stripping away the island's physical armor, exposing its bedrock and coastal waters to the outside world for the first time in human history. The retreating ice reveals bedrock that dates back 4 billion years. During a massive tectonic rifting event 200 million years ago, the Earth's crust pulled apart, allowing magma to surge upward and fill the fissures with highly concentrated minerals. This geological history left behind immense energy reserves. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that 31 billion barrels of undiscovered oil and gas lie just off Greenland's northeast coast. The global transition to green energy relies heavily on rare earth resources that are only now becoming accessible because of global warming. This chart shows the concentration of rare earth elements across global mining sites. While a typical American site like Round Top yields an ore grade of 0.033%, Greenland's Kvanefjeld deposit sits at a massive 1.43%. The island contains 25 of the 34 critical raw materials identified for modern industry. 2 of those materials are neodymium and dysprosium. Without them, it is physically impossible to manufacture the high-performance magnets required for electric vehicle motors and industrial wind turbines. The supply chains for the next century of energy production depend entirely on these specific elements. Whoever controls this newly exposed bedrock holds a primary lever for the future of the global green economy. As the ice retreats, it unblocks Arctic waters, clearing the long-sought Northwest Passage for commercial shipping. Vessels traveling from East Asia to Western Europe can bypass the Panama Canal entirely. This polar route is 7,000 kilometers shorter, drastically cutting transit times and fuel costs. Recognizing this shift, Beijing declared itself a near-Arctic state. Chinese state-backed companies aggressively pursued mining stakes in Greenland and offered to finance the expansion of local airports. Those infrastructure bids were swiftly blocked when U.S. and Danish officials intervened, citing direct threats to national security. Washington then moved to secure its own position, signing agreements for dual-use military infrastructure and preparing massive federal loans for Western mining firms to break China's monopoly on rare earth processing. At the same time, Russian naval activity in the region has escalated, with specialized submarines operating near the critical undersea data cables that run through these newly accessible maritime routes. Greenland is no longer an isolated buffer zone at the edge of the map. It has become a highly contested toll booth, surrounded by rival powers vying for access. Caught in the middle of this geopolitical scramble are Greenland's 56,000 residents, 89% of whom are of Inuit descent. The local economy relies heavily on a volatile fishing industry. To maintain basic government services, the territory requires an annual subsidy of over $500 million from Denmark. Many local politicians view full independence from Denmark as their ultimate goal. To achieve that, they need economic self-sufficiency, and the subsurface mineral wealth offers their only realistic financial pathway. Extracting those minerals comes with severe risks. Some of the largest rare earth deposits on the island are co-located with massive veins of radioactive uranium. Large-scale, open-pit mining operations require heavy infrastructure and generate toxic runoff, directly threatening the pristine fjords and traditional hunting grounds that form the core of Greenlandic cultural identity. To secure the political freedom they desire, the people of Greenland face the prospect of destroying the very environment they are fighting to govern. The centuries of isolation that defined Greenland have been permanently erased by rising temperatures and the insatiable global demand for advanced technology. The supply chain agreements and military pacts signed in the coming years will establish which power secures a long-term advantage in the race for Arctic resources. If Western allies fail to provide the capital and infrastructure required, Greenland's government has made it clear they will secure investments from adversarial partners. The melting of Greenland's ice is an environmental tragedy, but it is also a physical unlocking of the island's subsurface. For the first time, the vault is open, and the struggle to control it has already started.